Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Thursday night. We have a few questions from Jean Irvin from Vancouver Island, and I'll try and engage with them the best I can. She says, my inquiry is related to the use and function of the life map. I keep asking myself after certain intense experiences, what is it? What is its function and how does it work? Well, I'll take a look at that one aspect of it. The whole purpose behind developing energy coming through the hands is initially and primary the activity of energy past that can move past the personality's design. And this is not something that is not known. This has occurred in the background of Christianity, of course, but also in Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism. There has been the use of mudras over long periods of time. But to get the mudras to work, the hands have to be open. So once again, I'll just talk briefly about opening the hands, remembering that the little fingers are related to the heart center. And you can take your thumb, that's related to the root and gonad center, and do this, which is a mudra related to the heart center. But at the same time, to get it activated beyond the root gonad and solar plexus, or personality engagement, is something that is a little bit more difficult. But it can open related to intensity or frequencies that relate to the root, gonad, and solar plexus. That is the domain of our personality construct, and it's complicated. And maybe I can just keep talking about that. The complication occurs, and it's kind of stylistic, but not stylistic. The engagement with the personality has been constructed literally by the activity of the centers that are activated in the species, therefore common to the species, and those centers are the root, gonad, and solar plexus. The hands, of course, are minor centers, and the feet are as well as a number of other centers under the armpits, the shoulders, every place that you have a movement, the wrists, the elbows, the neck area. And it's complicated. There's a number of them that's there. The temples, wherever you move, anywhere in the body, have small centers. Okay, all right. Those are activated by intensity related to how you construct your personality and how the potential of that is always there. In our youth, activation of those centers are really focused very strongly on root, gonad, solar plexus. But there's a complicated problem here. In our species, most activation comes from the root and gonad center. in our modern times, one could say, but I'm not convinced of this, that the solar plexus was kind of activated, but under the auspices of the root and gonad center. In other words, stronger intensity was placed there. Will aspects, personality, value, and importance, we still have that. In lower stages of coarseness related to the functionality or the function of a human being's engagement with life, personal engagements with life, and many styles. And of course, in the versions of styles, everyone thinks that their particular style is the most important style. And in our world, there's an awful lot of acting that goes on, even more since the early 30s and 20s, when movies were pretty well functional. Prior to that, it was oration, expression, giving a talk on how wonderful you are. This goes way back into the Greeks and beyond the Greeks. And it was always in a pyramidal focus, because the pyramidal focus is related to the personality. All right. So therefore, competition was fierce for being more important than anybody else. And then you had to sell the idea. Well, okay. We still have a lot of that in corporations, one versus the other, and in religions, scientific engagements, as personality groups grumble about which method is better than the other, but less in science, because there's a kind of slight movement towards looking for a truth relative to a context. And these truths have been measured. However, new truths come up that supersede old truths. This is how it works in our world, as long as it doesn't interfere with prime values, prime directives related to the species. We've had trouble there with philosophical and religious backgrounds, simply because there has been a lot of battling going on about who's more important. Usually it ends up going back into the context of the root gonad center and use of emotion for that purpose, because that's where we are in this species. Very interesting, if you look at it from that perspective. But not really interested in listening to that if you're looking at the need to be valued because you happen to be the strongest person on the block. Everything goes back into that lower part of the physical personality construct. The opening of the hands has always been a construct related to being a catalyst. In the old formulas of mudras that we were talking about, and there's all kinds of them, where you open the hands and then you move the hands around in a certain way so that you are able to stimulate the core or the forms, at least initially that form on the physical level, then the emotional, and then the so-called mental level that we think is really important. And that's about where we go, because if you're trying to be experiential with this thing, then the modus operandi is based on what you believe you experience, not necessarily what you're actually experiencing. but what you believe you're experiencing. Same is true in relationship to formulas or groupings of engagements with life. All of that has been important to us and still is, and will probably remain that way for thousands of years, maybe less. But here's the deal. Jean asked about the life map. Well, here's an interesting thing that's still focused in a kind of a way related to the personality style. You have to think about this one. It's important. Not recreate versions of importance relative to your personality, but you're engaging with purpose here. The purpose is not personal. It's broader than that. It's to help others. Now, the dilemma is if your hands do start to open, and it's easy to do that. And most of you out there who have tried this practice have had their hands start to open. And that's the first thing you do. So what do? You remember the little finger is related to the heart center. The next one, the brow center. The next one, the solar plexus, the middle one. Then the throat center, root gonad, and the construct all along the bottom. Okay, and the top of the fingers related to the crown center. All right, okay. Intellectually, memorization, or, better still, beginning to perceive the activity off the body of where these things are open. And the recognition that hands, because they're your hands, doesn't mean you're more open to everybody than everybody else. The other thing is tremendous energy, meaning you're more important than anybody else. This we've talked about in the last 2 or 3 sessions. This is a hard one for all of us. Don't worry about that. The business of not necessarily agreeing with what you say gives you an opportunity to rethink something. We talked also about that. But as the hands open, you will notice feelings off the body or on the body. This is a form which can be affected easily by those centers as they come on. They will come on relative to the form. That's the physical aspects. Can be emotional too, to some degree, because the intensity can be just as coarse, and the engagement with energy just as coarse on the physical as our interaction with our personalities being really significantly important. Well, they are, but not in a personalized form as much. But in our world, they're considered very important. Maybe. Depending if you were in sales, how many sales you had last month. If you were in carpet making, how many carpets you made last month. And they were efficient carpets, really good ones. And this just goes on. How many pennies you made in a penny store. Whatever that means, I have no idea. I haven't got a clue. But you're getting the idea. This transmits into a personality construct. And it's, unfortunately, how we design things and we express our engagement with life that way. the actual way of engaging is, initially, there is an intensity that is really strong. Little longer, little later. The intensity is softening a little bit. Now, have to be careful. You're not going to be even more important because the intensity softens. Eventually, it's so subtle, but you're not looking at it being yours anymore. You're looking at it affecting you in a way that might be helpful to another, not helpful to you, to make you feel more and more important. This is difficult because the same thing happens when the hands come on. See, it's how many potato chips do I have in a bag? In my day, it was how many comics you had. And we would trade comics. And certain comics were more important than others. If you had those, you were extra special. A little earlier than that, because you grew so much in a week, you were really special. Look how great you are. And this is the cultivation of a pride that is important in everyone's life in the early days. Because we are learning about life and try to function in it. And we do the same thing in our sports, for example, and that's really great. We don't enjoy the sports as much, but we can say, oh, we don't care about what our score is. We do care about what our score is. The issue is we've been trained to do that. So in learning to grow, and I'm getting to it, Gene, in learning to grow, what we do is we open the hands for the purpose of helping our growing beyond the personality as well as within it. This is hard for us to understand because we don't want to understand it as an outcrop of calming our personality down as we grow. We don't want to do that because it means we won't get enough credibility. And this is hard for us because in most of our lives, we haven't had enough consideration or value allowed in our lives so that we could begin to understand that sometimes we don't need that in places where we're doing okay. Otherwise, we all of us get from time to time fairly vulnerable as life touches us. And that's not anything but personality stuff. But it's not bad or good. It just happens in this species and other species similar to it. So here are the hands again. You understand what all the fingers are. Now, all you have to do is be aware of the heart center. This is how I think it's helpful. You will do whatever you think that is, because we human beings don't like to be told what to do. That's just an aside, and we're not going to listen to that very much. Top of the finger, down the bottom of the hands, with your mind, or with your attention, back up again. Be aware of the tips of your fingers. Drop your attention down the hands on the inside or the outside. Do them both if you want. And become aware of a spot deep in the center of the hand. Be aware of that. Everybody just try it. It's an experience. You may notice that the hands push away from each other, or the hands may just start glowing. You may notice, as time goes on, you'll notice the wrists get activated, the elbows get activated, and the whole system becomes activated. Now you have to calm your personality down. The best you can will still be your personality engagement. I'll say it again. The best you can, calm them down. Calm your reactions down, will still be an aspect of the personality engagement. If you can calm in that, hands are still focused on each other. If you can calm in that, then be aware above your head and then behind you. Out about a foot if you can, but not with intensity, just gentleness. That is still going to help you to be aware of energy, but it's still related to the personality's engagement. It's okay because you're learning, at least to some degree, to calm the personality a bit. At the same time, if you notice stuff, you're going to think you're the only one that notices it in your way, and then personality will do its thing. Watch the personality do its thing. Watch it. You don't have to agree with it, but you're trained to agree with it because it's a form to be utilized. Personality is not a problem. It's what you do with it. It's what we all do with it. And we're all just human beings trying to be okay here. Remind yourself of that. And others are doing the same thing. Now, if you want to do the life map, do the mudra. It's just a movement towards doing something. Bring the hands slowly together. Feel the energy there. Go like that. And you're creating a form or flow related to the energy that's in you. Now after you do that, don't do anything else. Now ask for help for something that you may be concerned about in yourself. If it's at night, especially when we're vulnerable, and we are, because our personality isn't on full tilt, and we naturally fend off some stuff at least. But at night, when I go to bed, and I've done this for forever, I ask for help in my going in and my being in to this sleep time in a gentle, balanced, and appropriate manner as possible. I do that. I believe it might help. Do the same thing when you're going into meditations and coming out of meditations. I've talked about this from time to time in different places. You may or may not have heard of that, but it's worthwhile considering. Here's the reason. There is and are various levels of engagement in ourselves with other planes. If you engage in another plane, you act the same way in that plane as you act in this one. It's often called the astral plane. It can be the lower mental plane, but normally it's the astral plane. Now look, you are attached to that astral plane in your daily life. So any intensity, any elevation of your own personalizations is an aspect of the astral plane. And your intensity about the validation that you have in those planes, in these planes, keeps you on a coarser level. I know nobody wants to hear that. You're absolutely right. It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like, oh, that's terrible. Well, no, it's not terrible. It's early growing. It's attitude. It's how you use your personalizations. That's just a form. Your personality is a form that is constructed on a bias that relates to your upbringing, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, and how you choose to consider that upbringing is related to often reflexes that you have practiced over the years for a long period of time, whatever that period of time it is. Some of us longer than others. So, when you're using the life map, you're asking for transmutation and healing for the energy coming into you. And ask that it be truly transmuted and healed and returned to wherever it's coming from in a gentle, balanced, and appropriate a manner as possible for wherever it's coming from. And if it's coming from you, you're asking for the same thing. And if it's coming from others who are annoyed at you or think you should be giving them more credit than you do, or doing whatever they need to do, then you're asking for help for them too. You try to keep it as clean as possible. That helps, because when you're not doing anything, when you're with your hands at all, you're not trying to get them. What you're trying to do is link up with a higher state, higher than your personalization thinks it is, and have that energy operate through in a more positive and constructive manner for however that energy is coming into you. Okay, now, I agree that you will conceive of that energy coming into you with the personality that you believe is more right than God only knows what. But we have biases and we have attitudes and styles that we wish to have elevated in our own way of engaging with life. Yeah, that's part of what we learn here. You're attempting to see that a little bit so you can soften it down just a bit, so you can be more helpful. And that may be helpful with the life map. If you have been practicing, as I was practicing this, you may even notice that your hands are still on. Be aware of the little fingers first. Even when you're doing all of that rigmarole about being aware of the hands and all that, eventually your hands will come on, but your personalization will be in them. Go at it again. Even if they're on, go at it again. And ask for help so you can soften down the personalization. Just do that if you can, if you feel like you would like to. Others will not feel like they like to because they got it all together. That's personality stuff. And that doesn't sound very nice, but it's not about being that. It's not called nice, it's called habit. And we all have habit. So this is learning, not negating. Try and understand that the best you can. And it will be a little humbling. Let it be okay. It's all right to allow yourself to be a little humbled. The opposite is not helpful as much, but it can happen to any of us. I hope that helps a tiny bit with the life map. Now let me see what the next aspect was from Jean. Thank you, Jean, for these. It seems sometimes that significant intensity can arise in the system out of nowhere. Absolutely. Because when we're engaged with learning and growing, it's an exploration and a discovery versus an elevation or a putting down of what our responses are and how we do things. This is difficult for us. That's why we're brought up under the guise of being either not recognized as being valuable in some way all through our childhood. This is in the older days. Some of you who are 18, 19, and 20 might have experienced a lot of caring from your parents. Sometimes you believe you didn't get it. You just didn't understand the version of caring that you got. And this sometimes can be held within you as a belief that you didn't get any. This is natural. This is not unusual. So, in this particular instance, this intensity can arise in the system to help that to quiet down or to bring it to your attention. It may increase something. You know, you'll find this. If somebody reminds you of someone in your past, it can come out in that manner. You may not like them because they remind you of something. Or you might have reactions to them because they remind you of something. And it's possible. So these intensities start to come out as if you are them, or as if others are acting that way just to annoy you. Well, for example, if you've collected a style of personality where you have to be more right all the time because you're vulnerable inside, then literally, if someone does something that they're not agreeing with you, you'll have additional reactions to that because you want to supersede anybody's way of thinking. Well, there's 8 billion people. You're going to be busy all the time. And nobody virtually agrees with everything other people agree with. It's how we are. We've learned come in here from different angles, using different ways of seeing and thinking. And to tell you the truth, no one is perfectly able to be correct all the time. It's an important feature. Putting down other people's way of thinking is what we kind of normally do often. Understanding how another person thinks is not what we do, necessarily. There are a few who attempt to do that when it feels okay for them to do so. So we have a lot to learn about how we function here on these planes. Even I don't care what you studied, we still run into things that we are shocked to realize. Things that are similar to our parental background. And our level of trust is not very high, because it's sometimes rigid and high in us for us, but not so much for others. This is difficult because life has touched us in a lot of different ways. Okay, this is around experience. This is around personality engagement. Fine. Just see that these things are there, and you don't have to always agree with you. However, you may want to, because it helps you to feel good, to believe that you have the only way to see things. We all have pieces and parts like this, because we're human beings. Consider that, maybe, or consider it whatever which way you believe you'd like to consider it. But notice how you do that. Don't beat yourself up about it, and don't beat others up about it. If you can, you will. We're all trained to do a little bit of that stuff. Do what you can. It means you're softening down the need to be personally evaluating that personality roughness or coarseness as the only way to think. At the same time, we're trained to think that. And in a kind of a way, it can be funny sometimes. Find the humor in it if you can. There are many times when you won't. So the other thing that is concerning about this is, I think I talked a little about this before, I'm not sure. I think it was last time we talked about different frequencies engaged in that are possible to occur in us. We all don't have the same frequency dominance. So learning how to soften down the frequency dominance that we're a part of is helpful. Helpful in that if you, for example, I'll take purple or violet, was supposed to be very spiritual. So at its lowest level, it is considered by theosophy, some may like that or not, but may be considered to be very spiritual, except that every single frequency has its spiritual levels. Everyone, including that will that we were talking about that we've been involved with for eons of time, that can be so gentle, and an understanding that has very little to do with constructing a version of what must be right in the personality. At its higher level, there's a link with the higher state that can be softer and more understanding and compassionate in relationship to how a person engages with life, even though it's different than your particular way, whatever that would be. This is very difficult for us to engage with. We see people dressed in certain colors, and we like those colors, and therefore those colors are a mix of good things. I remember Carol saying to me, you have a purple shirt on, and right, Carol, and I said, yeah, God, it was next in line on the hanger. I just didn't even, so I grabbed the purple shirt and threw it on. I I like all colors, to tell you the truth. I'm not too fanciful with wearing black, but black I wore when I was a kid, when we were playing instruments in bands and stuff. Black and white was the deal. And none of us looked terrible in it, so it was quite fine. Uh, but we all have these kinds of things. But if you can think of a multiplicity of levels in each and every frequency, no matter what they are, coarser, moving gentler, and we, at our level right now, at our level in our species, tend to think generally on its coarser levels. I would say pretty well true for us. Our coarser levels of versions. If this color is nice to me, then it's a good color. If this color is not nice to me, it's not a good color. When actually, you may not have a certain frequency too much in you, so you wear that color a lot. Another frequency, you may have a lot of that color in you. I'll use color and frequency, based on the prism thing, and it's not actually as clearly real on other planes as we have it real here. And these colors can be mixed, by the way, and definitely are on other states in a wonderful glow of emanations. But other colors, for example, I don't do well with orange. And my buddy used to tease me all the time. He'd play golf, he'd give me an orange hat as a gift because I didn't look good in it, and I would wear the doggone thing, and it was wild. And Marlene finally threw it out on me, and it wouldn't let me wear it anymore because it was so bad. But if I put a dark blue on top of it, like a sweater, it's fine. Mixtures of colors. But it just happens I have a lot of orange in me, and you can make of that whatever you want. It's supposed to be scientifically focused and be interested in searching and searching and searching about whatever it is you're really interested in. Maybe yes, maybe no. But what we're looking at is trying to get out of that deep fixation that we have with not being validated enough. And as I look at those frequencies, I think within the frequencies that we're involved with, and I say we're in the coarser view of those with some stretching a little broader, I think the frequencies within us are searching to go into a higher state as well, higher than what we can handle right now, and that what we will basically understand. So I hope that helps a little bit, because we will consider anything just a little softer as an optimum. It's the beginning, and all of us are grateful that anyone moves into a softer engagement, because if they do, they no longer are talking about how important they are because they're elevated into a higher state. It doesn't work that way. And I've tried to talk about these folks that I've met to give you an idea that it might not work that way, but it's so hard for us to understand that stuff. Everybody gets caught in that kind of fixation around our personality. It's okay. That's where we are, and we're learning. Be grateful that we're learning, because as we learn, no matter how little we grow, we will be helping others to do the same thing. We're linked with these frequencies to others. That changes, some change happens in you. Perhaps it can happen in others that are linked to you without your knowledge, of course. And that's a key thing to remember in the process of growth. Another one, what she says, one can pray extensively and ask the energy to leave and be healed, and also ask that if energy is from our own system, that it also can be sent to the highest and best. And I would, yes, see that as not negative, but more like a very positive thing to do, because actually what we're doing is trying to relate to a sense of loving that is has more compassion, more understanding of ourselves and others, and understand also that it's very difficult for us to do this because we have standardization that occurs in our personalizations. Our personality is standardized. It's constructed in a particular style, and that style plays through. The trick in this, find out that style the best you can and ask for help for it continually, because this brings up the last part. And the last part is kind of, I don't think we can see this very well on the board. I have down there constructed personality. You see that little swiggly thing on the left of that spiral? These are cycles of development. And what happens is that energy itself, the intensity itself, for example, you'll be meditating and you work with it and you're doing really well, and you are. And then slowly you're out of the style a little bit, and it works around for a period of time and comes back right into how it appears to be the way it was before, but it's not. But you're more aware, you're more sensitive to it, and you see it, and look out that you don't want to see it or you'll hide from it, but it will be in there. And if you catch it and do the life map right there on it, knowing full well it's just a cycle and it's not negative, then you'll see yourself better, and suddenly there will be a quick flow through it. Instead of so many X number of years, it'll be maybe a month or so or less, and it will be a higher little cycle again, and will come around, and after maybe 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever, and you'll go into that, it'll feel like you haven't done anything. What's wrong? I'm back to where I was. No, you're not. You're involved with the cycle. And after maybe 6 months, as a matter of fact, traditionally, people have talked about this. Rosicrucians, Theosophy, all kinds of folks. Buddhism, Hinduism, talked about cycles of redevelopment, shifts and into a different state. And I said different state, back around again into that cycle. And you begin to see things in there that you couldn't see before. But be careful, because there's an aspect of it that you love. and you've used it for so many years, and you love it, and you want to remain there. It makes you feel kind of empowered, valuable, and then you don't want to get out of it because you like acting the way, empowered and important and all the rest. And then suddenly you'll slip out of it because you have grown and move around again, and in a broader, it's more like an ellipse, but you can use whatever words you want, and back again. And if you know that it can happen, then you can be prepared to not only do the life map, but to ignore not wanting to meditate, ignore not wanting to broaden out your views, and do the redirecting, because it will stimulate you. There'll be a little bit more energy. It'll feel like a Niagara Falls coming in, but it will help you to bump out of it from time to time, but the cycle will come around so you can try to maintain it. Remember, your habits, your reflexes are geared to engorge how you believe. Without your knowing how you believe, you must be to be valued. And it's happens with us all. It's a very vulnerable position to be in. And it's a precursor, in a kind of way, to a level of engagement with energy that I can't discuss. But it's totally, hint is as loving as we can ever get to. Thank you very much for listening. I know it's a long question. I thank Jean for it. It covers a lot of territory. And now we'll just begin to meditate. And we'll meditate for roughly 45 minutes to an hour, and then do the balancing and grounding. And for some of you that will be here this weekend, it'll be nice to see you all for this North American seminar. Well, take care of yourself.
नारायणी षडशात्मैक्यस्वरूपायै नमो नमः।
We'll now do the balancing and the grounding. And have a good evening, everybody.